Allie, how do you stay positive when you've experienced some kind of disappointment?
Well, that's never happened to me, Shauna. So, no, really, it's happened to all of us, of course. And thankfully, we have a guest today who has gone through this very recently and is going to share with us how she has dealt with it. Her name is Teresa Burkett. She's been on the show before. She's AKA the home body trainer on Instagram with bukus of followers. Her brand is Silver is the New Strong, and she's on TikTok as well. And she's going to tell us what we can do to get through it.
And before we dive in, let's give a shout out to Leslie Ann Bales. Thanks for listening. Now let's dive in.
Welcome to the Girls Talk Healthy Aging podcast, where we dive deep into pressing health and fitness issues facing aging women. I'm Allie Kerr.
And I'm Shauna Kaminsky. And together we'll bring candid conversations, expert advice, and personal stories that will inspire and empower you on your own wellness journey.
We're thrilled to have Teresa Burkett from Silver is the New Strong back with us on the Girls Talk Healthy Aging. Welcome back, Teresa.
Hey, thanks for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Well, for those of our listeners that don't know Teresa yet, you'll need to check her out on Instagram, Silver is the New Strong, but also go back to episode 43 to get the first installment from Teresa. And now we're just going to catch up with you. It's been a little while. And so tell us a little bit what's going on in your world.
Okay. First of all, I was going to say, if they want to find me on Instagram, it would be Home Body Trainer.
Oh, right. Yes.
TikTok is Silver is the New Strong, but Instagram is Home Body Trainer. So anyway,
thank you.
What have I been up to? Let's see. I've decided to start growing out my hair, and I was interviewed.
How long are you going to grow it out?
I don't know. I have no idea. It seems like it gets about here and then I cut it off, but I'm going to try to, for some reason I'm missing it. So I'm, you know that awkward stage where you can't put it in a ponytail or anything. So,
yeah.
But yeah, I was interviewed by Good Morning America. That was exciting. And they posted that on all their social media.
Very good.
And the Wall Street Journal and, ESPN reached out to me on TikTok and commented on one of my videos. So this past December, I started playing pickleball. And I can't say that I'm a great player, but I can say I'm obsessed. I love it. I'm having so much fun. So.
And we know you've had quite a bit of an unexpected adventure recently, and you mentioned pickleball. So can you tell us about your recent injury and what happened?
Well, first of all, I have to say we can't blame it on pickleball. After talking to a surgeon, so what happened was
exactly, yeah.
Okay,
sure.
So in December, we were down in Florida playing pickleball along with we go to a gym down there, and so I was lifting pretty heavy like I always do, and I noticed my arm, my shoulder kept hurting, and of course I was not relating pickleball to it, just I knew it was sore. So I started playing pickleball like this and developed a lot of bad pickleball habits, and so I think it was Memorial Day back here, and I kept, like I said, I just know it hurt, but I wanted to play, so that's how I played. And I woke up the next morning after Memorial Day, we played, and when I was there on the court, all of a sudden I was like, oh my gosh, I could not turn my arm, and my hand was like numb. So I was really freaked out, and I thought, what have I done? So the bottom line is I woke up the next morning and my bicep was like out to here, and it was black and blue. And a day later, we had gone to a wedding, my niece's wedding, and my husband's brother-in-law is a doctor. As soon as he saw me, he said, "Hey, you tore your bicep tendon." And then they were on their phone getting in contact with a surgeon. So I met with their surgeon on that Monday, and it was totally tore it. You have two up here, and it tore completely. One of them tore completely off. Now, and basically he said, if I chose to have surgery, he could go in there and repair it, but I don't have to have surgery. It might be a little achy, and that's what's happening. It aches at night. Other than that, I mean, I can, sometimes I've noticed when I'm like doing a one arm hang, yeah, I don't have quite the strength that I had back before that. But overall, I'm happy to say I don't have to have surgery. And he did say that he would not say it was from pickleball, that it's very common in athletic people. It's repetitive motion. It has nothing to do with my age or anything like that. So
Yeah, how it goes where we have something happen, but maybe it's been going on for a while. Something has been
right,
tight or out of balance, and it just that's just a final straw that just took it out was the
right.
pickleball.
You just kind of learn to live with it, and yeah. So I was pretty surprised.
So was there an option for repair and you chose against it? Or the surgeon said you didn't need it? How did that go about?
Right, he could definitely go in there and pull it up and reattach it. And he told me if I decided 2 or 3 years from now that I do want to have it done, I don't like the way it looks, or he said a lot of times when you lift heavy, it might cramp up on you. So for whatever reason, if I choose to have it later, he can go in there and repair it.
Yeah. Was it upsetting? How was that emotionally for you? Did kind of your world come crashing down because you're the home body trainer that does all the pull-ups, and like, how did that make you feel?
I would say yes. Soon as that happened, at first I just thought, what did I do? My biceps all swollen. I must have pulled something. I had no idea I tore a tendon. So yes, at first, and after talking with the surgeon, and I only had to wait a couple days to meet with him. He made me feel so much more relaxed about the whole thing and reassured me. I mean, I was back. He told me I can do whatever I want. There was no restrictions or anything. Other than, of course, I was sore, so I had to kind of ease back into it.
Yeah.
But first, I just thought, oh, my pull-up days are over. And
The good news is you didn't have to stop doing things, but I'm assuming you've probably made some adjustments, even if it was right after it happened. So can you tell us any ways that you've adapted in your workouts or your daily life, Teresa? We're going to interrupt this interview for just a second because we've got something we want to make sure that you know.
If you're struggling with your health, with your fitness, if you don't know where to start or you know what to do and you're not doing it, we're here for you.
And all you need to do to get our help is to reach out to Shauna and I at our email, sapodcast23@gmail.com. And we're happy to help and we will be in touch. Now back to the show.
one thing I was doing, a couple things. I remember I started just hanging on one arm and kind of, trying to keep a sense of humor about it. I made a couple of funny videos about my Popeye arm. And so I did that. I used humor a lot. With the whole pickleball thing, I came down in my gym and I marked off on my wall the height of the pickleball net and how far back the kitchen line is. And I started practicing with my left hand. I thought I am not giving up playing pickleball. And I put videos out also about that. So that was kind of how I decided to deal with it all. Now I can literally, I switch hands. It's like a mental thing. I forget and I'll just be in the middle. And again, I am not by any means a great pickleball player. I'm learning as I go, but I catch myself, hitting it with my right hand, and all of a sudden I've got the paddle in my left hand. So
I love that. I love that you found a way. Like you're like, I'm not stopping something new that I love. I've got two arms. If one of them's down, I'll just go to the other one.
That's exactly right. Everybody that I played with was going, oh my gosh, she's using her left hand. So
Wow.
Yeah, I've had to do that some in pickleball with some body craziness. So yeah, I love it.
And I love how you took a positive approach to say, well, what can I do? Rather than focusing on what you can't do. Well, I could play with my other hand. I can be lifting with my other hand. We had Alan Cosgrove on talking about reciprocal innervation. When you're injured on one side, you should continue training on the other side because there's there's a strength gain that can, or at least maintenance that can happen. So you were very proactive. And I think, would you say that helped with your outlook to remain positive?
Definitely. Definitely helped. Yep. I think I was sad and blue for about a day.
Mhm.
The initial, like, oh my gosh, here goes everything. And then, like maybe 2 days after meeting with the surgeon and being reassured that I'm going to be okay. I might have a funny looking bicep, but I'm going to be okay. And you know what? It actually, I look back and I think, man, I lived a long time with pain. I didn't realize how, because like I said, I just started going, oh man, I must have worked too hard at the gym. And one day it was kind of achy, but that's what was happening. I didn't know it, but I'm sure that repetitive motion was just tearing that tendon, and I did not know it. I am amazed at how many people, men, I have met since I've had this, talking to, in person as well as online, who also have a torn bicep. I haven't met one woman yet. I know they're out there, but I have not ran into anyone, and nobody has posted on any of my pages that they have had it. So that'd be a fun thing to see if there's other women out there who have torn their bicep.
I know several men as well that have torn biceps, but you are the first woman that I've known. And you do have a large following, and if you have reached, if you've mentioned it and nobody's put their hand up to say, hey, I've torn my bicep, like that's quite interesting. Maybe it
Yeah.
is somewhat
And,
unique.
most of the men, actually, none of them that I have talked to personally did it in the gym. It was one guy said, believe it or not, I was in my boat reaching down for an umbrella. Another guy said he was getting his dog a treat and started to throw it at him. So I guess that just,
Yeah,
I
so many of our injuries don't happen when the final blow happens. They're going on. And
right.
a lot of times we do it, we ignore the signs, the things, our body's talking to us, and then all of a sudden it's the final event, the grand
Right.
finale. And we're
That's
like,
right.
how did I do that? Just turning and looking over there. And
It was
something.
brewing for quite a while.
So, in hindsight, Teresa, would you have done anything different, knowing what you know now about that torn bicep and that probably your training leading up to that, the training, the pickleball, the overuse? Would you have done anything different? And if so, what would it have been?
Honestly, I don't think I would have. I don't think, I can't, because like I said, I can't pinpoint if they would have said pickleball caused you to tear your bicep tendon, or lifting, 300 pounds, or hanging from your pull-up bar. But so no, I don't regret everything I've done. I'll continue to keep doing it all. I think it was just one of those things. If anything, I guess I started thinking, football players out on the field, they're rushed off, they hurt themselves, but they're doing what they love, they're moving, they get repaired as quick as they can so they can get back out there and do what they love. So I kind of think that's my mentality is.
But do you feel like that pain is telling you anything?
That the pain?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I felt like I was listening to it to some degree, because I thought it was caused from lifting, doing overhead shoulder presses. So I might have, I went to the gym with my husband and I thought I better not lift as heavy, these lateral raises, that would hurt. So I was like, yeah, I'm going to skip those today. So I feel like I was listening to what I was getting, the feedback from my body, but it had nothing to do with what I thought was happening. But that's where all the pain was. It was all coming from right in here, and things like that aggravated it. I did cut way back on.
It's so true that sometimes where we feel pain and then where an injury per se happens are not always in the same spot exactly. So it's so hard to know.
And I had gone to my regular family doctor, who is a doctor of sports medicine, and because when I first came back, I said, boy, my shoulder's hurting, and I have arthritis in my neck. So I was having a lot of neck issues, and my shoulder was hurting. And he said, well, I think you have two things going on. So he did some x-rays. The arthritis in my neck was progressively getting worse. And that just has to do with growing older and wear and tear, things like that. But he said, I think you've got something going on in your shoulder. He did not see anything wrong at that time, but he suggested I start physical therapy. I did, I think, 2 sessions of physical therapy. And that's when that, playing pickleball one day after that. And even then, he told me, listen to your body. You can continue to do what you are always doing, just listen to your body. And I feel as though I do listen to my body. Like I said, I thought it was coming from certain things, so I laid off of those certain things. And even with pickleball, like just to not, come way back like that, I was kind of helping my arm. I looked really silly out there on the pickleball court. But
Did the injury, has it changed your perspective on aging, fitness at all?
I would say no, because I know a lot of feedback I've been getting from men. They're a lot younger than me and they've torn their bicep tendon. I just look at that. It's not age related. It is being active. It is being athletic, and again, I feel like, well, I would much rather be moving and doing what I love to do and take a risk, take a chance on possibly getting injured than I would to sit in a chair and be scared to death that I better not do that. I might hurt myself. So,
The cost of doing business,
right.
and sitting in a chair, you're going to be much more debilitated than
Right.
moving.
Teresa, talk to us about the importance of flexibility, not just physically, but in life, especially when you have things like this happen.
How I am flexible. I think you have to be. You have to. Well, physically, you have to be flexible. You want to be able to get up off of the floor and pick up your grandkids, reach over, put your luggage in the airplane. And I would say definitely you need to be flexible when it comes to life, because constantly life is changing. Things are coming at you, unexpected surprises like torn biceps. And I had foot surgery a couple years ago, got through that. So I've had my share of little setbacks. So I think if you can be flexible and stay positive, that's what's important.
It's interesting how you have positioned this injury and coming back from it. And I think back to our interview with Dr. Carrie Burnite, and she's the author of Joy Span. And one thing that she talks about as a key to long-term happiness is the ability to pivot, to be flexible. If a door is closed, look for a window. And that's exactly what you've done, which I think is a major help in maintaining a positive attitude and overall life satisfaction.
I know her. She's the one that interviewed her mother, right?
Mm-hmm.
Is that okay? Yeah, I want to get that book. I follow them on Instagram, and I love her. I love her mom. She's
So cute.
Yes, I'll have to.
Yeah, and you have this amazing Instagram community, Teresa. So how do you decide what to share when you're putting out personal things about your life?
Oh, well, I'm amazed. I love the people that follow me. I wrote down somewhere how many followers I have because it just blows me away. But I love to share anything about my fitness journey and any tips that I can offer. I hope and pray, I inspire and do that all with a sense of humor. I just choose to keep my private life private. I don't post pictures of my grandkids. It kills me not to, but that to me, that's kind of my platform, is to inspire and encourage others, and it keeps growing. Yes, there it is. I have 290,000 followers on Instagram, and that blows my mind, that people take the time to watch a video and comment, share, things like that. So
I think it speaks to the powerful message of silver is the new strong. So maybe could you speak a little bit about what that means to you, the message that you want to convey to those 290,000 followers?
Thank you. Yeah, silver is the new strong. When I first came out with that, it was because when I was young, the thought of becoming an old woman and having silver hair and wrinkles seemed so unappealing. And I basically had a light bulb moment one day, and I thought, my silver hair and my wrinkles has nothing to do with aging. It is the lack of strength of muscle, and that's something I have some control over, and that is my message that I want to get out to other women. That embrace your silver hair, embrace your wrinkles, you've earned them. But that is truly, and the more that I am on my own, aging journey, the more I find that to be so true. It really isn't. Your wrinkles and your hair has nothing to do with how you're going to age, but being strong and healthy has everything to do with how the quality of your life is what I'm getting at. There's nothing wrong with coloring your hair, and there's nothing wrong with if you choose to have Botox or anything. But I guess I would hope that people, women especially, can start looking at themselves in the mirror, and instead of picking themselves apart, start, because it's hard. You can look at yourself one way, or you can look at yourself another way. And so I really hope that I encourage other women to look at themselves as strong, beautiful, capable women, not wrinkly old gray-haired hags that we've all been led to believe we look like.
And you have definitely inspired so many ladies through social media. What about because you even spoke earlier about them reaching out to you, about many of them, even men reaching out about they've had the same issue with their bicep tendon being torn. How are these followers online? How have they helped you, or like the support from them? How does that help you? Because I'm sure you don't just, there's got to be something that keeps you going, to keep getting out, putting yourself out there and continuing to post this stuff.
I would say that is what keeps me going. When I first started doing it, it was, I was really afraid to put myself out there, and how are people going to perceive me? And I must say, even on TikTok, boy, when I decided to get on TikTok, I was like, there's one of those little, how they have little audios. One of them says, "Am I too old to be here?" And I keep thinking I need to do a video with that one, because that's what I was thinking. Like, I had no business being on TikTok. But anyway, they have received me so well, and they're just so kind. And same thing with all of my followers on Instagram. And that is, it's not like I'm making a bunch of money putting videos out. I think a lot of people would think, are you crazy? You should be getting paid for all. I do it now. I mean, that is what keeps me going. I feel as though I'm living my purpose, and that, to give back. And if that's how I can give back and, inspire another person, help somebody with their fitness journey indirectly. I was a personal trainer. I'm kind of done with all that, seeing clients. It's kind of, I don't have any desire to do that, but I feel like I'm still able to help, especially women, but men too, to either stay on track, start a fitness program, something. And to me, that's why I get up and I do it over and over again.
I do think that you get paid in different ways, and you are being paid with good karma. You're putting good karma out there, and you're receiving good karma from the good energy you're putting out there. What advice would you have for those that are struggling with possibly injury or feeling slowed down with age? What advice would you give them to keep going?
I would tell them what I do, especially when I'm feeling a little down. First of all, I start my day, every day I start with a positive meditation that gets my day going. So I would encourage them to find something, to start their day out in a positive way. When I come down in the gym, I look at myself in the mirror and I talk to myself just like I would if I was talking to a client or a best friend. And I do. If somebody saw me down here in my gym, they would think I had lost my mind. But I did. If I'm trying to do I don't know, a certain exercise, and I allow myself, I know I can't do everything, but I really, it's like I know I can do this, and if it's something I know or I really think I could, do, I look at myself in the mirror, give myself a big pep talk, and if I can't accomplish it, I usually say, well, not this time. I never say, well, I can't do that. I just say, well, I didn't do it this time. So I think a lot of what we tell ourselves, I think we need to speak to ourselves like we would speak to somebody that we love dearly. So, and that's kind of hard to do. It was really hard for me to learn that, but it's helped me a lot.
I want to ask is about discussing strategies for that, which you just mentioned a strategy, but any other strategies for listening to your body and shifting your goals once, you're on a path and maybe you have to change course. What are some strategies that you use for shifting your goals?
Here's an example. I have had a goal to do a muscle up forever. And, I really thought, boy, I'm going to get this thing. I'm probably talking 3 or 4 years now of really trying. Honestly, I've quit trying recently just because I've been busy doing other stuff. But that was like a goal of mine. Like, I know I can do this. And practiced all the time, tried the bands, I still, I still believe I'm going to conquer it. But for now, I felt like, when you mentioned shifting my goal, I think what I've done is I've just kind of said, okay, I'm going to put that goal on the back burner for a while. I'm not going to give up on it. I just need to take a break from it. And if it's meant for me to do, I'll get back to it. I'll work on it again. But for now, I've got this other thing that I am working on. And so I don't want to say, I never say I'll never do it or I can't. It's just either not yet or, okay, let's put it over here for now and we'll come back to it.
I like that you have not replaced, but put it on hold. I think that's a healthy strategy. And if I could offer a piece of advice, because you are incredibly strong, is that a bit of coaching with technique, because you have the strength. And so I know if my belief in you helps, I know you will be able to get that with a little bit of coaching. So I don't want you to give that up. I mean, absolutely put it on the back burner until you're ready. And then when you're ready to bring that to the forefront, I know that a bit of coaching would get you literally over the hump, which would be over the bar.
Well, thank you. I probably need to do that. You're right. Thank you.
Yeah.
Great advice. Great advice.
Well, I mean, as coaches ourselves, and you're a coach too, the power of just those outside eyes would really really help you, right? So
yep, they'll probably say that one thing, that's what you're doing wrong. You need to, you're right. Same thing with pickleball. You just can't you have to have somebody keep teaching you, and whether you want to hear it or not, it's like, okay.
I think that is a big message as we age, is that we can continue to learn. And, it's obvious that you're open to learning. You're taking pickleball lessons. You're starting a new sport in your 60s. These are powerful lessons, because a lot of people think, well, I guess it's pretty much over now that I'm 60. Right. And so I think that's a really powerful lesson, is that we can always continue to learn.
And Teresa, what you're doing now, what's next for you? Like, I know we're going to get that muscle up. I know that's next. But besides that, what else is coming up in Teresa's world?
I can't think of anything right off the bat, other than just keep doing what I'm doing and trying to perfect my pickleball game. Hanging out with my family, all those kinds of things. But I don't have any big goal or anything at the moment.
You're doing a lot though. You always are doing, always up to something. So you're just going to keep doing all the things that you're already doing.
Keep doing what I'm doing. Yes. I would say I would love to, when I first put myself, you asked me earlier about Silver's the New Strong. And when it first came out, it was this little tiny, if I can inspire one other person with my Silver's the New Strong quote or brand or whatever. Now I have a big vision. It's just like, I want to see it on Nike tennis shoes. And I keep thinking we need a Barbie doll with long silver hair and a little bit of wrinkles so young girls can realize you can get strong. Grandma can be strong and pretty and, embrace her silver hair. So anybody out there with the connections there? So those are my big, dreams, goals, but
And I think it's so important for representation of what grandmas look like, because we have this preconceived idea, often the character that you use in your reel with the sweater and the glasses and the hunched over and the cane. And then you're like the superwoman that throws off the shawl and jumps up onto the pull up bar. But we need to see that, and young people need to see that more
right.
often.
I agree, and that character came from that was what I thought I had to look forward to. And I will say a lot of the young people on TikTok love that. They love those little skits, and I think it's great because I don't think I know I didn't have strong women. I mean, there was Jane Fonda, when I think back, but overall it was even the women that were in their 30s and 40s always looked so old, back in the day on the commercials. And so, yes, I do think it's time to show the younger generation that, growing old, just because you're 50 or 60 does not mean you're incapable, you're washed up, you're frail.
And the other thing I like is that the silver is the new strong motto is that, even as a 50 and 60-year-old, we don't need to look like a 30 and 40-year-old. We can be
Right.
beautiful with wrinkles and silver hair. It's not a one size fits all, that once we don't have, perfectly smooth skin, that we've lost it all. So I think that your message has a lot of deep meaning to it. So
Thank you.
I really love it. If you had a wish for our listeners, Teresa, what would it be?
I have a few. So, I would say I wish for your listeners to eat to be strong and to embrace their silver hair and their wrinkles because they've earned them. And if they haven't already started lifting weights, I would encourage them to start lifting, work with a trainer or a coach so that they can learn how to do it safely. Don't end up tearing your bicep. I did not do that lifting, but seriously, just to start lifting. And again, when they look in the mirror, my wish for them is that when they see that image staring back at them, what they see rather than their silver hair and their wrinkles is a strong, beautiful woman staring back at them. That's my wish for your listeners.
My wish would be that our listeners get active if they're not, and regroup if you're reaching for a goal and you're not there yet. Just know that it might not be now, but that you can take a break from it and come back to it and just go for whatever your goals are and keep working at it. Don't give up.
And my wish is similar to both your wishes, and that is that people change their perspective about aging. Aging can look much different than the wizened up little old ladies with the canes, but it takes some effort. It doesn't happen unless you put the effort in, and it's never too late to start. But for our younger listeners, starting now is the best time. For our older listeners, if you haven't started working on being strong, today's the day.
Thanks for listening. You'll find me, Allie, on Instagram at Allie Curve Fitness.
And you'll find me, Shauna, on Instagram at Shauna Kaminsky. Feel free to pop us a DM with questions and or feedback.
If you're enjoying the Girls Talk Healthy Aging podcast, please subscribe and share it with other health-minded women. Ratings and reviews are also much appreciated and help us get our message out to a larger audience.
Until next time, be healthy and be happy.